Hello and welcome to our first PivotCast here. We're live in Kansas City. We're Marco and Hannah.
Baron Link.
And this is our first PivotCast, so bear with us. It might be a little shaky, but we're trying to get better. We're kind of doing this in a weird environment, so I'm actually in Kansas City this week, and yeah, so let's get this rolling. So, but first, before we get started, make sure to go to pivotpub.com and youtube.com/pivotpub if you're watching this on a different channel. Make sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel because we have a lot of great content, especially some car reviews that are coming out in the next couple of days. But let's go ahead and talk about the Amazon Kindles because there are some new Kindles out. I'm not sure if you haven't heard about them, but there's a new 7-inch called the HDX. It's a quad-core 7-inch tablet. It looks really cool. It's $229. Quad-core processor, 7-inch display. It's 1080p, which is amazing. Or it's almost 1080p. It's 1920 by 1200. So,
yeah.
Oh, it is. It is 1080p, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
1920 by 1200. It's more than 1080p.
I think it's amazing that it's only $229 and it has a quad-core processor.
Yeah, it has a Tegra 4 processor? I might be wrong about that.
I don't know.
It's definitely a fast processor. I know that. It's a quad-core processor, has 2 gigabytes of RAM. Oh no, it's a Snapdragon 800 processor, but it's a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processor, which means its clock speed's quite fast. But yeah, the tablet looks pretty cool. It comes with the new software, 3.0, so it's Amazon's own build on Android Jelly Bean, and it looks pretty good.
Looks clean.
Yeah,
it looks really
it's not bad. They did redesign the back. It looks a lot better than the previous Kindle, but I really don't see anything that's wrong with it. I mean, if you want a fast tablet, you know.
Do you have a Kindle?
I do have a Kindle.
Do you use it often?
No.
Not at all?
Well, I mean, I use my iPad very often.
Yeah.
I have a Kindle. I mean, I have an original Kindle Fire 7-inch tablet because I bought it for $200. I mean, it's a nice tablet, but I still think that it's too content-oriented. I mean, I know that's why that's their main point, you know?
Right.
They're selling these at a ridiculously low price because they want to make money on content and not, like, products. So, completely opposite of Apple. You know, Apple lets, 70% of the revenue goes to the developers.
Mm-hmm.
So, their main money maker is selling products.
Right.
Amazon, because the Amazon store is the main thing and not Google Play. Mm-hmm. So you get all the books and movies and everything from there off of the Amazon store. So that's instant revenue for Amazon. So it's definitely a weird business strategy for them, but it looks like it's working. I mean,
They keep coming out with new iterations.
Right, and people still use them and buy them. So, I mean, I see a lot of people with Kindles, and...
Can you do everything on it that you can do on an iPad, or...?
Yeah. I mean, it's an Android tablet. It has Google Play. It has Android, like the backbone of 3.0 is Jelly Bean.
Okay.
So the same software that will be running on your, like, Samsung Galaxy Tab, or if anyone uses a Galaxy Tab, I really don't think any are. I mean, I'm just serious. They don't sell any of them. But I mean, I see more Kindles more just day to day now. Like especially if you walk around in a college campus, you see so many kids with like a Amazon Kindle because one, it's really cheap and it works and the battery lasts all day.
Yeah, they're good devices. I don't think that I would ever choose it over an iPad. The only reason I would ever buy a Kindle would be to buy the one that's got the paper display.
Yeah, the e-ink displays are pretty cool. I just wish you can put color on them.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
It would defeat the purpose of a e-ink display. But, the 7-inch HDX was announced, and then there's also an 8.9 HDX, which is basically almost the same thing. It displays 2560 by 1600, which is massively amazing. It's bigger than it's more than the iPad, isn't it?
I think so.
Well, 339 pixels per inch. So yeah, it is more. Not more pixels, more pixel per inch than the iPad, because the iPad's like 264. This one has 339 pixels per inch, so that's beautiful. And it's really light and it's really thin, and has the same processor as the 7-inch tablet, quad-core processor, 2.2 gigahertz quad-core processor, and it actually has a GPU, like a dedicated GPU for gaming.
And then they threw in a Mayday button for contacting tech support. And those only come on the HDX models. I think that's pretty stupid. Would you agree?
Let's see, let me read this. Introducing the Mayday button. Revolutionary on-device tech support exclusive to Kindle HDX tablets. Connect for free to an Amazon expert 24/7, 365 days a year. What the hell?
For what? Isn't that like the point of the tablet is you don't need tech support for almost anything?
Well, I guess the audience. Who's going to be buying this tablet?
Little kids and old people.
Yeah, old people.
So
elderly people, not old people. I don't want to say old people. So yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. It's also weird on the I don't know if this is happening with you, but on the Amazon, like the Kindle Fire website, does it have this extra room over to the right to scroll into for you?
What do you mean?
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just my machine.
Yeah, but I mean, solid tablets. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to sell quite a few of them.
Do you think the iPad Mini will have much of an effect on these new Kindles, or do you think they're a totally different market?
Totally different market. I don't think they're going after Apple, but they are by far the most successful tablets other than Apple's iPad.
Accessible or successful?
Successful.
Okay.
No, it is probably one of the most accessible tablets because it's really cheap. But, it's iPad, Kindle, and then maybe, probably not even Samsung. I'm sure there's other manufacturers who sell really, really dirt cheap tablets for $69, like at Office Depot or something.
This is good hardware though for the price.
Oh yeah,
the screen is nice. The processor is very nice. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, which I think is adequate. I don't know. I'm not a huge tablet user, so.
I mean, the iPad has less in it, and my iPad's pretty fluid. Android is a little bit more buggy.
It's curious to me that the new Kindle Fire HD doesn't have a microphone. The 7-inch.
The 7-inch doesn't have a microphone?
No. Well, the not the HDX, but the other one.
Oh, the new Kindle Fire? Like the 139?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a camera.
Okay.
It doesn't need a microphone.
Makes sense.
No, yeah, I understand. It's a cheap tablet,
Yeah.
They're probably going for $100.
Yeah.
So they only make $40 on each one.
But they make money on the back end with content. Cool.
Yeah. So let's shift some gears and head over to Apple because we have quite a couple of things to talk about.
As always.
I think the last podcast we did at Pivot was we talked about the iPhone, but I don't think it was announced, was it?
I'm not sure.
I think it was a couple of days before the iPhone event. But anyway, so if you haven't heard, the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 5C, I have a 5S now. 5C is basically an iPhone 5 reshelled into a polycarbonate body.
What do you think of that?
In person, I thought it looks weird on the internet, and then when I actually held it in person, in the store, it feels good.
I agree. It's nice.
It's a nice phone.
And the polycarbonate's slick, but it's also sticky in your hand.
But it's thick. I don't like that.
You don't like the thickness to it?
Yeah, it's a lot thicker than the iPhone 5.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I didn't
almost
notice that.
9 millimeters. The iPhone 5 was 7.
Interesting.
So it's a thicker phone. I hate that it's just reshelled. There's nothing special about it. The only difference is the new FaceTime camera
and then more
battery life. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, but I think it was an intelligent strategy that they implemented.
I got rid of all the inventory.
Right, and they're going to sell this to a lot, my mom, for example, color is kind of cool. When you're in the store and you see that colorful phone, and then there's no reason for people who aren't nerdy to want to dive into the 5S because it just has the fingerprint scanner.
Right.
And they don't really understand what it does as far as the camera upgrades and stuff go. So it's kind of a negligible difference. So I think they'll sell a lot of 5Cs. But I also saw that they were scaling back production on the 5Cs too. Did you read that?
I did not.
I found that somewhere on the internet, but I
do know, iPhone 5S, that sold like crazy.
Yeah.
Over 9 million iPhone 5Ss were sold.
That's ridiculous. I don't
In
understand.
3 days, from Friday to Sunday.
Do you think that's mostly people that had a 4S that are just like they were waiting for it, or just
No, people. I mean, when I bought my iPhone, dude, there's like everyone like a lot of people in the line already had iPhone 5, so they either bought their iPhone 5 off contract or they bought the iPhone 5S off contract and paid like $700.
I don't understand why people do that.
Because they
like I get it why you did it, like gadget nerd, but why would
normal everyday people, spending
like,
$800 on
and there's really not a huge difference. Like you get slow-mo, you get an extra, like a secondary processor for processing images, which makes it like a DSLR, right?
Right.
And then you get, what else? The fingerprint scanner?
Well, the fingerprint scanner is the coolest part. I think just because it kind of opens the door to, like the way you can purchase apps now,
Right.
instead of like remembering passwords. But when that opens up to, say, third-party developers, imagine what Amazon could do on the Amazon app or eBay, making purchases with your fingerprint instead of typing in your password or remembering your email address.
Right.
That is a much bigger thing than just, unlocking your phone and buying music off iTunes. So a lot of people were talking about, when I asked them, a lot of people were talking about the M7 processor, and a lot of people were actually talking about, the 64-bit A7 chip, how that can eventually unlock a lot of, like, processing power in the future and how that can correlate with, Apple TV on, with applications. Like, that's Apple's ecosystem being built on a phone.
And that'll be able to support more RAM as well, right?
Yes.
The 64-bit architecture. That's like the big upgrade, right?
Yeah, it's the biggest upgrade. I mean, there's really nothing different from the phone,
Yeah.
other than the new color. And trust me, a lot of people wanted the gold, and there was, like, none.
I think that's interesting, because I
don't like the gold, but after seeing it in person, it's not as, like, I'm
It's
rich.
not horrible.
It's not the same, like, I'm rich,
Yeah.
So it looks good.
That, like, pompous mystique.
Yeah. But
not.
the Space Gray is pretty cool. I like the
agree.
Space Gray.
I agree
I think that looks the best.
And I think the gold is a little bit more muted than, like,
Trust me,
actual
a lot of girls
gold.
wanted it. Like, oh my god. Every single girl in that line was just like, I want the gold iPhone. And like when they came down, they only had like 4 iPhones that were in gold, like total. I'm like, well, damn.
Oh, one other thing. I was reading recently, I can't remember where it was written, but they were saying that over time, the fingerprint scanner was getting more and more buggy. Have you experienced that?
More and more buggy?
Yeah.
I've experienced the opposite of that.
Okay, cool.
Like, I mean, it's supposed to learn how you put your finger on. Because, like, obviously you're not going to be, like, perfect every single time you put your finger on it.
But you'll be relatively consistent.
Yeah. I mean, there's only, like, this much surface area, so obviously some part of your finger will touch it.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't had a problem with it. I mean, like, it unlocks my phone in, like, seconds. Probably.
Have you had any, like, miscues where you, like, put your finger on there and then it doesn't work?
A couple times. If your finger is wet, by any means, it will be different.
If you have sweaty hands, maybe you'd have issues?
I haven't, like, even if it's sweaty, it probably still picks it up. But if you have, like, soap on your hands or, say, like, an oil or you just, or, like, food particles that, like, goes on your fingerprint, it's going to mess up how it reads.
That makes sense. So if you eat some Cheetos,
like,
you're not getting
Cheetos or any kind of, like, salt, it wouldn't work. So, yeah, but dude, the iPhones have been huge.
Yeah.
All the reviews, I mean, obviously all iPhone reviews are good. I don't know why. I haven't seen a bad iPhone review ever.
Yeah. Well, they're awesome devices. What do you think of iOS 7, having used it for quite a while now?
Feels like an iPhone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly, I don't anymore after using it. I don't look at it any differently. Like it feels
like
regular.
an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right. It's so weird, isn't it? Like how a lot of people were saying, "Well, damn, the iPhone looks different,"
Yeah.
Like if I bet you now, if we went and downgraded to iOS 6,
we'd
and
be
we'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah. Right. It'd be terrible. So.
I think it's interesting how quickly it influences design and like on the web.
No, everything is like Apple stuff.
Yeah, everything. Well, everything just looks flat. Like everything looks iOS 70 because it has to look like that so that it looks natural on iPads and stuff.
When I was looking through Theme Forest, like I was just going by ratings,
right.
And like all the themes now are just flat, like especially on HTML sites.
Right.
So like I scroll up and then the page just like. Right. And it just shifts like it's a parallax. Like, well, this is completely taken off the Mac Pro site.
Right.
And now, like, the iPhone 5S sites like that, the iPhone 5C sites like
Exactly.
that. I'm like, this is so...
As soon as I
you're
saw...
You're going to go to CNN, and then it's going to be like...
No way.
Like, the breaking news, and then you slide over, like, Michael Jackson, blah, blah, blah.
I think it's pretty cool. When I first saw that, the Mac Pro site... that is one of the coolest things I've seen on the internet.
And now everyone's using it.
Yep. It worked super cleanly, though.
Oh, yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
So, we are coming up on the next Apple event. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm excited.
Everyone's talking on the internet. We're talking about it at Pivot. Obviously, we're expecting the new iPads.
I want an iPad mini.
Yeah. iPad 5, iPad Mini 2. This is probably going to be the biggest conference for Apple if they talk about every product.
How do you...
Because, here, let me give you a list of every single product that's due for an upgrade.
Okay.
So it's going to be iPad 5, iPad Mini 2, MacBook Pros. It would be...
and they'll announce a release date for
the Mac Pro.
MacBook Pro, right? Or the Mac Pro.
Well, they're going to upgrade all the existing MacBook Pro Retinas, and they might add a new MacBook Pro, which we'll talk about in a sec. There's going to be Apple TV, iPods, all iPods. What the hell?
Apple TV, I'm stoked about. So let's hold that.
What else is going on? What am I thinking? Let's see. There's 6 categories.
Potentially a watch.
Potentially a watch. Yeah,
I'm starting to doubt it.
Well, maybe. Okay, so here, let me pull up our post. We wrote a post a little bit about it. So we'll see the refresh of iPods for sure. What the heck they're going to do with the iPod Shuffle, the Nano, and they're still selling the Classic. The Classic is like freaking 6 years old, dude.
But it still functions very well for what it is. High capacity, low maintenance, just is what it is.
We're going to see a refresh of Apple TV software.
Which is fantastic.
Which is fantastic. We might
I use that every day.
And I know we're saying this all the time, but an iTV, Apple TV television set, there's a slim, like a 0.001% chance we might see it.
Honestly, though, I don't understand the intrigue. Like, I don't understand what sort of leverage that would gain them, right? If they just like combine Apple TV into a display. They sell so
many Apple TVs, though.
Yeah.
They sell so many, and they still call it a hobby, which is stupid because they sell so many. They make a lot of money on it.
Right, but it's not the forefront.
But every single day there's new content on there. I mean, they have like taking back from when they announced the first Apple TV, like the black box, not the red ones. They had Netflix on board, and that's it, basically.
No Hulu Plus.
No Hulu Plus.
Right.
And then they got Hulu.
Yeah.
And then...
what about YouTube? Was YouTube on there?
Yeah, YouTube was on there. YouTube was on there. But now they have so many, like they have like Sky, I don't know, there's like this weird stuff, but you can watch ESPN on it now if you have subscription through what is it, NFL League or League Pass? Whatever. So if you have like League Pass, you can watch all your football games. You can do that. You can do the same with NBA. You can do the same with MLB. And there's a couple other sports that are being streamed live just on the Apple TV. There's new, like the iTunes store full of movies. It's like gotten tons better. Like there's like every single movie that comes out on DVD comes out on Apple TV like a week early. Like you can get an early release.
I have one thing to throw in, and then we'll get back on track.
Okay.
My phone, like when I want to stream something, like a long movie on YouTube or some sort of like I was watching. Like mountain bike downhill races, that Red Bull Rampage the other day, and when I like keyed it in to my Apple TV, not streaming it through any other device. Okay, well, let me finish and we'll see. So I keyed it into the Apple TV, I started watching it, and it lags.
It lags?
Yeah, it lags. And I'm on the same Wi-Fi network with my phone or my laptop. But when it's on Apple TV, like by itself, it lags. If I look it up on my phone and then broadcast it to the Apple TV, it doesn't lag.
So if you're watching it from your Apple TV, it lags?
Yes, and then if I watch it from my Mac...
Which Apple TV is it? Is it 720?
I think it's the latest version.
That's weird. I mean, that's probably something to do with the Wi-Fi network.
I think so too. But it's on, I don't know. So, confusing thing.
All right.
And then if I stream from my Mac, the audio glitches.
Well, audio, I think that's always been a problem with
Yeah, so hopefully they fix those, like, very simple,
what gives me like an interest of like how they're going to fix it. A lot of people on the new iOS 7 in the software. Previously on previous versions of iOS, and this is like kind of off topic, but it goes along with Apple fixing all the problems.
Yeah.
If you switch from Wi-Fi to 3G, like if you're watching a YouTube video, it would cut out, like it would stop loading.
Right.
So you'd have to like stop it and refresh it. But now on iOS 7, it automatically switches. So if your phone switch, like say if you're in a Wi-Fi network, so if you walk out of the office, your phone will continue streaming.
Where that continue, but
right. Well,
another place that sucks is with navigation.
Yes. So now it's completely transparent. It does it automatically, and it goes off on your 4G network or 3G network or whatever you're on.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like they're starting, and AirPlay is going to be the biggest part. Like if they put a 64-bit processor on the Apple TV for the next generation, they have to they're going to nail the interface, and that's what I think. It's going to be so smooth. It's going to be like crazy, but
at what point do you think that the interface for the Apple TV doesn't matter? Because you're using all your other devices to beam it to the Apple TV.
I still think
right?
interface will be a big part. Especially if they really want to be serious in the TV market with all the content, you would want a nice navigation.
Right. But right now the interface sucks so bad that I would almost rather just use my phone.
It's not terrible. Just maybe the remote.
The remotes.
Yeah.
The remote is perfect for what it is, but for like all the complexities of the interface, it's kind of trash.
Oh God, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's going to happen in that event. I know we talked about it and different stuff, but new MacBook Pros, new iPads, Mac Pro, Mac OS X Mavericks. It has to be like a 6-hour-long conference. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm excited for it, man. And that's in 9 days?
22nd. So hopefully, if I get my invitation on Tuesday, I should be flying out and singing Cupertino.
That's crushing.
I'm like, yes!
I want to come. Yeah, so there's that.
Anyway, if we get invited, I have before for like the past 4 times. So hopefully, I'm still on the invite list for Apple. I mean, I haven't done anything wrong.
Right.
Please invite me, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's talk about iPad 5. So, iPad 5, it's going to look like an iPad Mini, but
curved, a little bit
flat. Well, I mean,
right, but
curved,
like
but flat on the back.
Yeah, right.
It's going to look like an iPad Mini, but just bigger.
Yeah.
End of story.
What about fingerprint scanner?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Every single iDevice, well, except iPod Nano and Shuffle. iPod Touch, iPhone 5S, and iPad's Touch ID, straight off the board.
Really? Mm-hmm. And all Retina now.
Well, it could probably come to the Mac too, but we'll probably have to integrate it to a trackpad because it's ugly if you have one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those like HPs with a freaking fingerprint scanner? You have to do this too. It looks disgusting.
Not good.
Yeah. So,
but I wonder if they could make it so that the sensor was like I don't know how they do that. Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
Maybe. Well, it just
there could be like a portion of the trackpad, like if you use like the bottom right corner or whatever, you know.
Or the center.
Yeah, center would be difficult though because then you're not like where's the actual center, you know? Unless they put like a little circle on there, you could boop.
Yeah, maybe that's what you know the absence of the little like squiggly like the rounded square. You're gonna add it to the trackpad. This is where you put your finger.
Yeah. Maybe.
It'll just be imprinted on the trackpad.
Or
this is glass.
Yeah, it's glass. They could put it behind the glass.
Right.
I don't know if they will. I'm sure they'll do it eventually.
Yeah.
Because it sucks having to have like password keeper and all that stuff. If you just had to use like your fingerprint every time, I'd feel so much safer.
Oh yeah, totally. But it's not going to happen this generation. Not this generation of MacBook Pro.
No.
I mean, if that would happen, I'd probably sell my MacBook, which is not even old. It's like 2 months old.
I think I'll probably keep this for a while.
Anyway, so iPad 5, A7X processor, 64-bit, more RAM.
16, nothing like ultra exciting, right?
Yeah, 16, 32, 64, 128.
Yeah.
iPad Mini, it's sort of the same deal.
Do you think it'll be Retina? It kind of has to be,
50,
right?
50. I'd give it a 50-50 chance.
I think it needs to be. After Retina's been out for
this long. If it is Retina, I would buy an iPad Mini.
Yeah.
If the processor is, I don't know, because it's an A6, it's not an A7 right now.
You're sure? Oh, the new one though.
The new one, I mean, if it has the same processor as the normal iPad 5, then yes. But if it has like an A7 chip, I might not. I'll still probably buy the iPad 5.
Why?
It's a lot more processor power.
Why?
Because if it's a Retina display, you need more power. It's more pixels. So the reason why the A6 works is because, well, the iPad 2 ran on the A6.
Right.
So
hopefully they have a new processor, which I'm sure if they go with Retina, they will.
Yeah.
Right?
But you also see the addition of co-processors, so the M7 chip will be on both iPads.
Right. Do you think they'll implement all the same camera technology that's in the phone?
Yeah. Like the slow motion video stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe. No.
And then like the extra processor for video or for
motion
camera.
graphics?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the M7 will probably be on all iPads.
Interesting. I wonder how they'll leverage that.
Yeah. Maybe not the iPad Mini, but definitely on the iPad.
Well, it seems like the Mini you'd be more apt to maybe use it as a...
But, it fits the iPad in terms of, like, feature set. So, to be honest, I can't really answer that because I don't know. Yeah. Apple is just weird like that.
What else? Mavericks?
Well, yeah, I guess... Well,
what are you excited about Mavericks?
Mavericks? No. Well, folder tabs. We talked about this earlier. I know we did. That's a big thing.
You're really excited? I don't care.
Dude, I hate having, like, multiple Finder tabs.
I don't... Finder tabs. I thought you said folder tabs. So I thought you were talking about you can tag your folders now.
Oh, no.
But you can.
Well, I know you can do it now.
Right.
No, Finder tabs.
Finder tabs will be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
Because I hate having like 6 Finder windows.
Right.
I'm really happy for the display, like external display compatibility now.
Because
running, I'm not sure if anyone's done this before, but running a Retina 15-inch Pro on a 1080p LED is like shitty terrible. Like it's so. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like every time I hook it up to my beautiful display, it just looks terrible. Everything is so pixelated.
Interesting.
And I can't like format it. And it's something has to be cut off.
What sucks for me is when you use the tab that has the 2 arrows pointing diagonally. It's like it's at the top right of
the full screen tab.
Yeah, but it's not really full screen. It's like, I guess it is full screen where it maximizes it. But then if you have another display.
But it takes the whole window.
Yeah, it takes, and then this one, like say you have 2 displays, it'll send it here, and then this one's just canvas, like the iOS canvas or whatever.
Right, but you can't use it.
Yeah, and you can't use it for anything. So what you have to do is you have to like zoom out, make a whole new desktop, and then put your screen over here, and then you can use this desktop. And that's trash. Like you don't want it like that. But it's kind of nice to be able to send it to full screen, but then you want to use that extra space, So I wonder how they'll handle that conundrum.
Well, probably find out in just a little bit. I mean, it's not that far away.
I'm excited for that, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be a big event. Everyone's kind of happy for it, and we're waiting for it. New products.
I think it'll be bigger than
the iPhone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a big event. I mean, they haven't even done their iPhone. Like I was surprised they didn't do iPods on the iPhone.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Do you think that they'll do it all, or do you think that they'll do like another burst and then send another like next month, like they just did?
Oh, they can't do it. No, they can't do one in November. That's too crazy time.
Yeah, that's true. Too close to December.
I mean, like I would say some silent releases, but most of these products are pretty big. Like, it's pretty big talked about. I mean,
like with the iMac, that wasn't a huge deal. You could kind of do that under the covers, but
Mac Pro, that's a huge thing. You know, pricing. Maybe they have talked about the Mac Pro because we don't even know the price. So that definitely deserves at least like 45 minutes right there.
Yeah,
or probably less.
I think it's interesting that they still haven't released the price for it.
Probably
don't you?
It's going to be too expensive for most people.
What do you think the price is going to be? You said $3,700 earlier, right?
Yeah.
Starting
for a hex core, not a
Xeon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. They have to get.
It's a powerful machine.
It is. Even like the base model one is going to be ultra powerful.
Oh yeah, and just imagine how powerful the server model would be.
Yeah.
That's a sexy server.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
the server we have over there, that's not very sexy.
No.
I mean, it's cool. It looks
good.
Works. It works. Yeah.
But
it's not sexy.
No. And they're small, too.
Yeah, they're like 9 inches tall.
That's ridiculous.
It's like this tall.
Yeah.
Imagine that. A computer this big, right?
Yeah.
With the same processing power as 4 of these.
It's incredible. It's going to whip so much ass.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how the fan's going to sound. Are they using that, like, defibrillator fan or whatever they call it? The
asymmetrical
fan?
Yeah,
the asymmetrical.
Defibrillator fan. Was it going to zap
Yeah. There's a D something. What's it? Asymmetrical. Is that in the Mac Pro, though?
Yeah, well, it's a... damn, I just completely forgot what it's called. It's a thermal thing. What do you call them?
I don't know.
Jeez, dude. Defibrillator, that's hilarious. I'm going to keep that.
The new power structure.
It's a thermal intake, like the way it goes up and out.
So it's like a jet turbine.
Here, let's go to the Mac Pro.
That's where I am right now. Storage thermal core fan. Here we are.
Thermal core fan.
A single breakthrough fan.
God, this website is awesome.
Okay, I guess that doesn't really matter.
What's it called, man? Let's see, new power structure.
Impeller blades.
Impeller blades? What are you talking about?
That's how they get it to go inside rather than push out. It's an impeller rather than a propeller.
What is it called, man?
I'm not sure.
A thermal core. Ha! That's what it is.
Yeah.
A thermal core.
Do you know what kind of sucks, though, about the Mac Pro? Is that you're going to have all these wires, like, shooting out of it. And then you'll have
on the back of it.
Yeah, but you'll have to, like, turn it around to get to anything, like any peripherals.
No, it pivots.
Right. But... yeah, that's kind of cool. But still, like, how are you going to pivot this thing with all the stuff coming out the back?
I don't know.
Rip
it off from the wall.
I guess we'll wait and see.
I still think it looks sexy. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
No one can say it does not look bad. I mean, it looks good.
It really does.
The fan's
okay,
awesome.
So what else? No Mac Airs, no new Airs, right?
Yeah, they already got upgraded.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talks about a 12-inch MacBook Pro right now.
I don't understand.
12-inch is such a weird size.
I don't understand that.
Why 11-inch?
Why would they do that?
To fill in the gap, because if they kill off their MacBook Pro non-Retinas, then they need to find something to fill in that gap.
Ah, I see.
So
why would it be 12 rather than 13?
Because the 13 is $14.99.
And how much would this one be? $1,200?
$11.99.
$1,200.
You need the 99 sounds better.
It does.
That means the government takes $1 of tax, so it's like 9 cents cheaper at the outrun, depending on where you are. Okay.
Okay.
It's that kind of thinking. It saves Apple. It saves the customer a lot of money. If you calculate how many of these they sell, that's a lot of money right there.
That's true. And I'm sure they sell a lot more of them because it's not like $12.49 or $12.51 or some weird number. 51?
What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's some unattractive number that I wouldn't want to buy. Yeah, I don't know about a 12-inch. I think that's kind of... Like, the 11-inch is too small. It really is.
Right.
Do you think it would still be too small, though, if it was Retina?
No. Why would it be too small? What do you think the resolution is?
I think 11-inch is too small when it's not Retina. Like, if you look at a Mac Air or a MacBook Air that is 11 inches, now it's too small.
It looks weird, but it works.
It works, but it's too small.
I don't think it's too small.
Okay.
I mean, compared to our computers, yes, it's tiny. But for someone who...
But mine's a 13.
I know.
And it's very functional.
Yeah.
But I think if the 11-inch was Retina, or if they made a 12-inch Retina or whatever they might do...
It'd be too small?
No, I think it would be okay if it was Retina.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have more actual space to play with, you know?
Things would be smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that could work.
But
if it's still not
12-inch, I don't think Apple's really going to venture into the 12-inch market. It's just like, 11, 13, 15, that's it. They're not doing 17 inches anymore.
And it wouldn't really make sense financially to jump into another screen size because that's a big portion of the cost of the computer.
So So that I really doubt. So let's talk about some Surface 2 tablets.
All right. Something about their site, this just quickly, Microsoft, if you're listening, when you're scrolling down through the Surface site, if you scroll down and your mouse just magically lands above the spinning Surface tablet, then you can't continue scrolling down and you just spin this tablet all day, and it takes up more than half of the screen. So there's a little UX. And then if you switch your mouse to the other side and continue scrolling down, then they put another spinner on the other side.
This is pretty cool though. This is like the best. Like, look at this. You just. Oh yeah, look at that.
Do you see it though? Like you're scrolling down, and generally your mouse is to the left of the screen, right?
Right.
So you're scrolling down, and then you get caught.
Isn't that
then
fun,
you move it
though?
to the right, and then you get slammed again.
Isn't that fun? Look how flawless Microsoft's website is running on Apple's computer.
Yeah, it is nice. This is actually a really nice site.
I'm sure this doesn't run as well on a Microsoft product.
Probably not.
Anyway, so the new Surface tablets, they're out.
I think the mouse that comes with it is pretty cool.
On the Surface. Well, it's not really. It doesn't really come with it. It's a optional accessory.
The Arc Touch mouse is pretty cool.
All right. So the big talk really is the new Surface, new display, 1080p display, looks good. It's an LCD. Quad core on both tablets. 2 gigabytes of RAM. New cameras. Bigger battery. Thinner, lighter. And now you have 2 adjustable kick plate positions. How amazing is that? Oh!
They're going to sell billions. I think one thing that they do open themselves up to with this design that they're using is this sort of keyboard like they had, are you familiar with Razer? Mm-hmm. And how they have the LCD backlit keyboard?
Right.
Which is kind of malleable to any sort of purpose or use. I think that's really cool. But what they can do here is have hardware that's specifically built for whatever task you're trying to accomplish, right?
So you flip it on?
Right. So this music maker deal. Mm-hmm. That's sweet, you know? You got the little click pad and everything that would generally cost you a lot of money, mm-hmm. you know? And if you can use it and it works well, that's very cool.
That is pretty cool.
But I think that's a neat little feature of the Surface. I'm not...
I hope they're fast, you know?
Yeah.
Because now they're powered by Intel.
Yeah.
Which is good. They're Haswell chips. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they are fast. I mean, the old Surface tablet, dude, it was terrible.
I never really played with them.
They were laggy sometimes. And, and the display wasn't the best. Especially with, a platform like Windows 8. You need a display that looks good.
Do you like Windows 8?
No.
Me neither. I wish I did, but I can't like it. I don't know why.
It's weird. It feels like a big Windows phone.
Yeah.
Like
a giant Windows phone.
The reason, Macs, even though there's a lot of iPad stuff on here,
yeah,
feels like a computer because I have a nice, canvas desktop that I can use and work, and I have a keyboard and a trackpad.
Mm-hmm.
But, you still do have that. From Windows you can switch off and go to a desktop mode, but, it just doesn't feel very good touching your display on a tablet, especially on a computer display, because that gets really tiring.
Yeah.
So usually when I'm using a Surface tablet, I leave it in, goofy Windows 8 mode,
mm-hmm.
and it feels like a Windows Phone 8 device.
Yep.
I'm surprised you can't turn it in portrait mode and scroll up and down like that, but you can.
Yeah.
So,
yep. I don't know. I'm not completely sold.
Well, price for the Surface 2 is $449. Surface Pro 2 is actually $900. It's $100 more. So, I don't know what they're thinking. That's a bad call.
Comes with a stylus.
Who gives a crap?
No one.
Who uses a stylus?
Just mentioning.
Come on. Seriously, a stylus?
A lot of designers use it with their Wacom's. And I think those are they help you a lot as far as usability goes. And if the Adobe suite would integrate this stylus, I don't know how touch sensitive it is or whatever, but that could be really nice. If you could use if they could design the Adobe suite to leverage the technology within the Surface, where you're like literally designing on your canvas, you know. So you like combine the Wacom, and I know it's Wacom or whatever, but Wacom is cooler. So that you kind of combine that experience with the screen being on top of it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because then when you're like tracing stuff with the pen tool and Illustrator and everything, it's way more
Are you
precise.
really going to be using a freaking Windows tablet? I don't think so.
For design, if you could combine the functionality of a Wacom and a tablet, then yes, you know? Because then you don't have to do that weird like visual conversion between different sizes. It's just right there.
That's what separates the pros to the amateurs, man.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
So let's talk about Steam OS, because I know you're really excited about that, and I have no knowledge of.
Are you familiar with Steam?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, Steam is cool because you have, if you're a nerd, then you have all your friends on there, so you can use it as like a communication device, right?
Right.
So that's cool that you can carry that over into the living room. That, and it's like the iTunes store of games. And to be able to have that in a console is going to be phenomenal. And then knowing what our good friend Gabe Newell is like, I think that they'll bring a lot of good things and like unrestricted access and just cool stuff to the living room. And I think that'll be a good thing. Another cool thing is the controllers have two little touch pads on them. So, you know when you're using, like, say you're playing Call of Duty or whatever on the Xbox. Have you ever played it on PC? There's no aim assist on PC. So you're actually, like, wherever you put your cursor, it's not going to move when somebody runs past it, right? But on Xbox it will. So there's no need for aim assist anymore with these new touch-sensitive controllers, because they have like a 1-to-1 conversion ratio. So you can actually, like, if you move your thumb a little bit, it'll actually move a little bit on the screen, which will be much more accurate.
How big is the surface for it?
For what?
For your, like, say your finger.
They're like this, I think. So like rather than joysticks on it, it's like little circles, which is kind of cool. I don't know, like when I first saw it, I didn't think it'd work, but they just did a demonstration of it. Steam did. Or I can't remember who did the demonstration. I think it was Steam. But they showed like a lot of like the legacy Steam games like Portal 2 and stuff. And the output from the controllers will emulate a keyboard. So they don't have to like remap all the different games for like optimization for this single controller. It'll just take all of the output from the controller, convert it into like keyboard, like WASD or whatever, and then take it straight in. So then all these old games that you've already bought on Steam are going to work in your living room as well, which is pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it available now, or is it just a concept?
I think it's available soon, I think is what they say. Let's see. It looks cool, though. And it's based on Linux.
It's based on Linux?
Well, I mean, the back end is Linux.
Oh.
Like SteamOS is, yeah. So, yeah. Downloadable free soon. Free forever. So, I think it'll be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good first episode. This is the first episode, you know. You'll see mainly on Google Hangout. Is that what it's called?
I just hate the delay on Hangout.
Yes.
Because like, if we get into some sort of heated debate, like we just did just then, you know?
What, about Steam?
Like, no, just then. Like you start saying something and I say something.
Right. With
that delay, it's hard, because I feel like I'm always cutting you off or you're always cutting me off.
But after a process, it's not delayed.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's, you know, thanks for joining us on the first episode of PivotCast. I know the lighting isn't quite ideal. There's a ginormous shadow behind me.
I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
My skin looks like ultra pale.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the camera and look at the mic and back at the camera and say...
Maybe we should have positioned the camera differently.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We should have a...
Let's just redo it.
You know what I think we should do? We should talk and... should like get a
crane. You see a ghost? What are you looking at?
No, we should get a crane. I'm talking our vision.
Okay.
So basically, after we do a couple of these episodes and we get like really rich, which we will, we'll be rich. Anyway, we'll get a crane bolted to the ceiling with a big robotic arm type thing, and like lights and cameras, and then just get boom mics that are coming down here, and then a camera that will be robotically controlled. It'll just be moving
by our
in.
voice.
Well, not by
So
your
if you're
voice.
talking, it'll pan to you. And then it'll pan
We
to
could
me.
totally automate this room and like own this room. This could be Pivot headquarters. Like this could be the Pivot. I don't know. Anyway, more of this coming soon. I think we need to go get something to eat. So, anyway, thanks for joining us on this week's episode of PivotCast. My name is Marco Hanna, and
I'm Baron Link.
Yep, and you'll see many of these episodes and more content on pivotpub.com. If you don't know how to spell that, it's pivotpub.com. And make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter. Same name across the board, so it's really easy to find. And we will see you guys next week.